Good day. Hughes Investigates has made a video in where he claims Kiely Rodni's car was standing still for 14 seconds. I don't believe this. I I I think there is another explanation for it, and I think he's guilty of fitting data to his conclusion, and I'm going to explain why I think so. And yeah, I think this measurement here now is close to come to an end, and it stops at 47 seconds. It should be, yeah. So, and let's do some calculations here. The distance is 210 meters, and that means a travel speed of about 16 kilometers an hour. And how far do we get in 14 seconds in 16 kilometers an hour? 60 meters. Where can we match that? Yeah, we can. This is 54 meters here, or almost 60. So So, what about Kelly's ride? Well, it starts at 31:44 seconds and ends at 32:20 seconds, which means it's 16 kilometers. That's really amazing. 16 kilometers an hour. How did it come up to that? How did it came up to that speed? Well, it matches the driver's speed. It's an assumption that she makes that speed, and how do we know that was the speed she was driving at? We don't know, but it's very it fits the ideas that Hughes Investigate has gotten into his mind. It fits his thinking there. But does he have any math to show that fits his thinking? Can he, for instance, show how the spatial things in the night video is corresponding to the spatial things in at the Google map he shows us? Can he do that? Well, I took the freedom because I saw that the pictures he used was not in scale, so I took the freedom to put them in scale to each other, or sort of scale. And here is the result of what I did. The yellow guidelines is showing the points I used to make it to scale about. So it's where the beach meets the water, and where the grassland goes over into, well, I think it's just stones or things, but you get the idea. So you could agree it's about this to scale. And here we see the crossing 2, where the light is supposed to be, but the light source itself doesn't line up with it, as shown with the blue bars. The red bar shows where the car is supposed to be, and the blue lines shows where the light source is about this on the road, and they don't match at all. So it actually sits in crossing 2. The center of that light sits in crossing 2. Does that mean that the light is there on crossing 2 at that time point? No, it doesn't mean that. And I'm quite certain it isn't, because in the next seconds, which we could see in the video, we could see what could be interpreted as turning from the light source, and it's the only sensible interpretation of it, because the light is stretching out horizontal, so it looks like it's traveling in the left towards the right direction, or from west towards east direction. And I would claim that just before that, those 14 seconds when he claims the car stands still, it doesn't stand still. It's traveling those about 50 to 70 meters in a north towards south direction, almost straight pointing. The headlights of the car is almost straight pointing towards the fire camera. That's what I'm heading, and I'm showing you with the distance and the calculations that it's very likely to be the case. So is it possible the car was standing still? Yes, of course it's possible. Is it likely? No, it's not, because I could show with math it's very likely the car was traveling in a speed somewhere about 12 to 15 kilometers an hour, making that distance. Now, if we look at the timestamps from where he starts the video with Kelly's car, it's at 34 seconds and ends at 20 seconds, which is 46 seconds. And if we add that extra 14 seconds to the traveling to crossing 2, we get 1 minute. And if we check what traveling speed it is for 1 minute to go from crossing 1 to crossing 2, that would be somewhere between 12 and 13 kilometers an hour. It's not much difference. When we're talking a difference, 1 kilometer speed difference, we're talking about like a difference in speed of like 3 decimeters per second. It's like you're pushing the gas or releasing the gas a little bit, or you go into a bump. That's a change of speed we're talking about. And also you can say like, well, let's assume she was traveling 15 kilometers an hour. How much extra distance does she need to head then? Well, 40 meters. That's the extra distance she has to travel to make that distance take 1 minute to travel. So we're talking about very small margins here, and we have very we're talking about small margins in time and space. At the same time, we have big uncertainty in where to put things in space and time. So you could basically just say that the most likely interpretation of this is a car that is constantly driving. It doesn't stop at all. Nowhere. And with that, I end this.